Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel here.
Across the streams of hopes and dreams where things are really not. Come along if you can. Come along if you dare.
Have a good one. Cheers, guys.
Side of your mind, but please realize you'll probably be surprised.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my review of the Hulu original 11/22/63, starring James Franco and produced by James Franco, but executive produced by J.J. Abrams. And of course, it's based on one of Stephen King's novels. And this came out back in 2016, or it premiered back in 2016, and I kick myself for not talking about it sooner. First, it's this drama, mystery, science fiction thriller, but first let's go over the premise. This is the basis of it here. Jake Epping, James Franco, a recently divorced English teacher from Maine, is presented with a chance to travel back in time to Dallas, Texas in 1960 by his longtime friend Templeton, Chris Cooper. He is convinced into going and attempts to prevent the assassination of JFK in November of 1963. However, he becomes attached to the life he makes in the past, and this could be his mission's undoing. So, I've been very excited to talk about this ever since I got back into watching it. I had watched a couple of episodes some time ago, and for some reason I just stopped. I don't know what the hell I got caught up in. I don't know why my attention went away from this, because let me just say, this show is almost flawless. It's almost perfect, and I'm not exaggerating at all. For what it is, it was incredibly well done. And I know James Franco, he was personally very interested in the story. He had wanted to get like a movie or show made out of it on his own, but it didn't really work out from what I read. And then he ended up writing sort of like a fan review of the book. J.J. Abrams noticed, and then he worked out to cast James Franco in the show he was doing. So that's pretty good. And I'm a big fan of James Franco, actually. I know there's some controversy going around about him right now, but we're not here to talk about that. He's personally one of my favorite actors, at least within my 5-10 favorite actors I could write down, I think. And he does a great job as Jake Epping. Just every mannerism he has, every flicker of emotion and doubt, he just really succeeds with that. And again, succeeds is a word and a term I should use to describe the whole show, because like I said, I honestly find it almost flawless. I've been spending the past couple of days trying to come up with an issue I had with it, and I honestly couldn't. I mean, it was just 8 episodes, basically a mini-series. The pacing is very good. It really works. There's no part of the story that bogs it down at all, from what I've seen. Of course, them trying to figure out the whole JFK conspiracy thing. There's always a ton of different theories on that stuff. I'm trying to go through all of that. Them trying to make some kind of connection or contact with Harvey Oswald as they're looking into him. It's all very engaging. You meet someone named Bill along the way and forms a friendship with him to a certain extent. And meanwhile, there's also this little subplot within the first couple episodes of, he's a teacher. He's recently divorced, like I said. Of course, it takes place in Maine, like a lot of Stephen King stories, so that's kind of cool. But there's this older guy he knows in the present who he knows had a very abusive father, and there are some murders that happened. And so he's right away very tempted within the early part of the season to intervene, to try and change things. But the past, fights back in a very very big way, especially towards the end of the season. But all that was really well done too, and very intense. Josh Duhamel was actually played the guy's father in the past, so it was good to see him as well. Although it ended up being kind of a brief role, it still worked, and I still liked how Jake decided to deal with that. That was actually very intense. Yeah, subplot sort of, I guess, but still made sense, as a way to, show Jake's interest in, or like any human person would want to do something like that, Like I said, the assassination plot's all very engaging. It had me, it had my attention. But arguably, I think possibly the best part of the show, besides Franco himself, was the relationship between him and the girl he meets along the way that makes him sort of so attached and invested in this world and this facade he's put on here. And that is Sadie Dunhill, played by Sarah Gadon, who just did a fabulous job. And their relationship, their love, their romance in the show is honestly one of the most touching I've ever seen in any movie or TV series. And I fully invested into it. I fully bought into it. It really worked for me to a large extent, I think. It was very, very effective, and I didn't think it was I didn't think it weakened the main story. I think it only added to it. It was just incredible. I loved it. And, so spoiler warning, I'm guessing most of you have seen it by now since it's been out for a couple of years. Spoiler warning though, when she's shot and killed at the end of the season, and it kind of plays into the past, messing with him and him deciding whether to go back into the present or if he wants to stay or if he wants to go back and try and change things again. It's all really well done, the sequence, the way he meets her as she was, and then that's just he kind of has to make the choice to leave and let her be happy. He has to make the choice. He stops the JFK assassination and he was able to kill Lee Harvey Oswald in the end. But he sees that having JFK alive apparently didn't do as much good as is assumed. So he ends up making the choice of keeping that, but her remaining dead early on, or going back but never meeting her, but letting her lead a successful life. And I know I'm not explaining it the right way. But that was all very well done, and I'll admit I cried. I cried at the ending. I thought it was that impactful. And, it's been a while since the show has kept my interest and impressed me this much. So, yeah, let me know what you guys thought about 11/22/63 if you've seen it. I could keep going on about it, but I do have to go to work soon. But I can't stress this enough. This is a great show. Franco gives a great performance. You really invest into him. You really buy into every little detail of this past. They do a good job with that, just like the environment and the period setting. It's all really, really accurate to the detail, I think. We also have, let me see, Deke, Nick Searcy as Deke. He's the principal of the school Jake ends up working out in the past. He's known for his role on Justified. He's a chief deputy marshal on that. So it's fun to see him on this as well. Everyone does a good job acting-wise. Even Lee Harvey Oswald's girlfriend or wife, Marina, I think she does a pretty good job. Lucy Fry. George McKay, although sort of comic relief at first, you sort of get his perspective as he wants to sort of, once he finds out about Jake's idea, he sort of starts to care about Marina and the abusive relationship she's in with Lee Harvey Oswald. I keep going on about every little detail. There's even this other little small but really important character dynamic with, let me see, I'm just trying to get the names here. Yeah. Miss Mimi, played by Tanya Pinkins. Excuse me, I'm just trying to get the names. But yeah, Jake's their respect for each other, I thought was really nice, because it was at a time when, of course, African Americans weren't, were even less respected than they can still be now. And even when he offers to get her like a cup of coffee, everyone looks at him like, "What are you doing?" But they formed like a very touching and strong friendship, and I really like how it's done. It's very subtle, and I really enjoyed that part of it as well. But again, the core of it and the heart of it is that love between him and Sadie, and I just thought that was terrific. It was excellent, and I just love how it was done. You know, he sees her again, the president, as an old woman who's who's being honored at the school for being there for so long, and yes, kind of achievement award kind of thing. It's really sweet, and she has like this vague idea that she actually remembers him, but it's never outright said. There's a lot of interpretation that can go into that. It's just, I can't stress it enough. I can't I can't sing its praises enough. I'm not doing it justice at all, but definitely watch 11/22/63. Even though I just spoiled it for you, which I'm sorry, but I gave you a heads up. But yeah, if I had to rate 11/22/63, I was debating, but I'm honestly giving it an A+, and I haven't given out a lot of those. But like I said, I was just trying to figure out flaws with it, issues, gripes I had with the show, and I couldn't find any of them. James Franco gave a great performance, as did Sarah Gadon, and everything. And every part of the show worked for me, so I don't see why it's nothing but an A+. So yeah, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.